let's roll on to 4A Division 1. To 4A Division 1 we go. Where a few different things to talk about.
This one gave me headaches.
Yeah, this one's a lot.
Headaches.
This one's a lot.
Region 2 made me want to claw my eyes out.
Oh, I know.
Even Region 1.
It's
just
four
like,
times.
yeah, it's tough.
4A Division 1. We'll start with Region 1. 3 of you guys, WTF and Ish, like Brownwood.
Ish wants to change his pick.
The Lions... The Lions get your pick, the champions of District 2. They've got that one loss to Stephenville. Can you imagine? Only Ish has the courage to pick a Stephenville-Brownwood state semifinal. Can you imagine?
No. The crowd.
Imagine. There'll be 70,000 people there.
That would be so awesome.
Yes. So, Brownwood, Ike Hall and quarterback has been very good, and their defense has been very good as well. Step and I are going with Decatur. I think this is a team that a lot of people threw dirt on in the early going when they lost to Anna. Mm-hmm. They started 0-3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But look at their losses. Anna.
Aged well.
Stephenville. You may see them on this graphic, right? And Wichita Falls Ryder. And then they lose in overtime by a point at Alvarado.
See, it was those two. It was the Ryder game and the Alvarado game that just didn't.
But since then.
Didn't set well.
But since then, they've been humming. Got a win over Hershey. Got a win over Springtown. I don't know. I think they're getting healthy. I think they're finding their way, and they also have that pedigree. They've made deep playoff runs before.
Yeah, I will say last year. Yeah,
I did think something that went through my mind is that their head coach Steve Huff knows how to win.
Absolutely.
In the postseason. So I did think about that. I think Brownwood is the more well-rounded team. I think that Brownwood has had a much tougher schedule, but the one thing that made me nervous was I love Sammy Burnett to death. He doesn't have necessarily that pedigree when it comes to being in the playoffs, not compared to Steve Huff, who has been in AT&T Stadium for 2 of the past 4 years.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Especially with startup programs, Indicator's one that has a thing, but it was hard. That one was a difficult choice.
Speaking of difficult choice, Region 2. Region 2 is the real like litmus test for like it's a Rorschach test for like what you value. WTF is rolling with Anna. Mm-hmm. Explain yourself.
I think that Anna has the favorable part of the bracket here because I like La Vega, don't get me wrong, and I like China Spring. Normally in the past I'd be going, oh, that district alone with 3 of the top teams in the state is worried. Yeah. I saw China Spring play in person against Stephenville, and their offensive line makes me nervous. They have a good quarterback in Cash McCollum. Yes, China Spring makes me nervous. It's
worth mentioning that 2-time defending champ lives here, and nobody's picking them to win the region.
Yeah, no. I don't think that China Spring has got that dog in them like they have the past 2 years. And then Waco, La Vega, Kobe Black's great.
Here's the thing is that
I think Anna's more talented on offense.
I think, but what's funny is that La Vega will punch you in the mouth. Yes. La Vega plays a physical brand of football that they're interesting to more. And we're going to get that. We're more than likely, in my opinion, we're going to get that 4A Division 1 4A Division 1 second round match between Anna and China Spring. And that will be very telling because the winner of that game is probably going to get Frisco Panther Creek. Now, I like Panther Creek a lot. Obviously, big win over Salina on Thursday night rather. But this is like I just think playoff football is different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's one thing. Like I like this Panther Creek team a lot. I'm just not sure exactly like how they're like when they run into a La Vega, right? Who's got tons of pedigree. What happens then?
I also think Anna's schedule. We just got done talking about how good Decatur's going to be. They beat Decatur in week 1 of the season. They beat a really good Aubrey team that we just talked about, 42-0. Then I think the win over Paris by 1 point was a really good sneaky win over just a squad that's really hard to defend in the first place. And then the win over Sulphur Springs, they looked good in that win over Sulphur Springs last Friday.
Well, they played Salina really hard too. Only a 2-point loss to them earlier in the season.
Step and Ish are rolling with Stephenville. I love the way that they've reinvented themselves and become a defensive team because last year it was all about we're just going to go outscore people.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to get into these run and gun games.
That defensive line is nasty.
Their defense is excellent.
Nasty and huge.
I'm not overthinking it. I'm rolling with Salina.
That's fair. Yeah,
I think
rightfully so.
I think that if there is any program that can use a Week 11 loss and turn it into fuel, I think it's Salina. They were the number 1 team before last week. I'm just going to go with Salina. Region 3 is unanimous, which makes me nervous.
Yeah.
It's Kilgore. Kilgore, their one loss on the year is a 3-point loss against Carthage, a team that perhaps you've heard of. They now have wins over Chapel Hill, Gilmer, Lindale. Throw Athens in there too. Longview Pine Tree is a playoff team and in 5A. I think that Derek Jackson, their quarterback, is a star. I think they're really good up front.
Fantastic, and their front seven
and their defense
nasty.
Their defense get after your rear end.
That was one of our spotlight games last week, and it was jarring how well they played against Chapel Hill. Not to mention, I mean, even their win over Lindale has aged really well because Lindale went and beat Chapel Hill in week 10 of the season, and it was like Chapel Hill is so up and down that makes me nervous. I think Bay City, Kilgore Bay City and the area around would be a heck of a matchup.
Yeah, Bay City. I mean, you want to talk about like bunch of history between with those two programs. I mean, it's region like 4A Division 1. What I'm getting at is like it's going to be really hard to call because I think all these teams are pretty tightly packed.
Well, and watch for a sneaky Iowa Colony.
I was going to say,
dude,
that's one of those things.
That's a sneaky tough
I go back to
region.
Panther Creek. I'm like, okay, I need to see you do it before I'm willing to believe. They're 10-0. They should not apologize for anything. I need to see them do it in the playoffs.
Right. That win over Needville felt like a playoff game.
Oh yeah.
When they snuck that out by 3 points, it felt like a playoff game. But yeah, I think for me, Kilgore, what I saw them do to Chapel Hill last week was enough of a sealing a deal for me.
If Chapel Hill and by the way, if Chapel Hill plays to their paper,
they can absolutely
win the region again.
Yeah.
But people have figured out a way how to stop Demetrius Brisbane and Ricky Stewart, and it's like after that, it just gets difficult.
Yeah, if it had happened once, if they just lost, like if they hadn't lost to Lindale, this might be a different conversation.
100%.
But like, I don't know. And then Region 4, all of us took Bernie. I'll tell you this. The computer doesn't think it's that kind of it's like some sort of like walkover.
Yeah.
The computer likes Lavernia a lot. The computer likes Alice a lot. Okay.
Davenport.
San Antonio Davenport. I mean, this is a deeper region than you may think. I like Bernie. I think they're getting healthy at the right time.
Yes.
I think Jackson Bays is back.
I love Jackson Bays. Yeah.
I asked one question before I made a pick. I text Steph and I said, is Bernie's quarterback, is he hurt or is he still in? He goes, no, I think he's back now. And I was like all right.
Bernie.
But if they didn't have Bays, I don't think I would have taken Bernie. I think they've got some good depth, but Bays is the difference maker.
Everyone in this room is taking Bernie to win a state championship. I think getting there last year and then the experience they have from that, I think, is going to go a long way for them. Ish and Step are riding with East Texas. They're rolling with Kilgore. I guess we're all in agreement that the winner of this game is going to win the state championship. The winner of Region 3
that'll
and
be
such a good game.
That would be a fantastic.
Kilgore-Bernie would be a bloodbath.
Yes.
Bernie's offense and Kilgore's defense, like, give it to me.
But, I mean, I also think that the winner of Region 2 could win it. I'd be surprised if Region 1 won the state championship. I'd be surprised. Yes. But Region 2... I mean, Anna, like when Anna plays up to their paper, like remember their one loss on the year is a quadruple overtime loss against Salina.
Yeah, right.
Now, I don't know if they've been as dominant as I would like them to be, but like, I don't know. It's 4A Division 1 is wide open. It's going to be fun to watch.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.